Hey guys, it's Kate, Zencat Vintage, and today we are back out in Sooke, BC at the Sooke Family Resources thrift store. This is one of my favorites. And first thing in the door, first thing that catches my eye that I grab to check out is this stoneware studio pottery bottle decanter. It says Norm's Schnapps on it. Norm's Snaps. It's meant to be like a liquor decanter. I did see similar ones online. That one was priced at $4.50 and I couldn't quite figure out the mark. So that was a super cute little piece. I would have totally grabbed this. It was pretty chipped up and I honestly feel like I've seen this before. Maybe at this store, maybe one similar somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure. This was a nice little dish. Pretty chipped up on the leaves though, unfortunately. This is a little Italian pottery piece. Kind of a Capodimonte, but not actual legit Capodimonte. Then down here was a super cool collection of salt and pepper shakers. Of course, I had to check out this adorable Mr. and Mrs. Piggy. These are just like a hobbyist set. Looks like something that someone made at like a ceramics class. I did find a little chip on them, so I ended up leaving those guys behind. Down here, that was a nice crystal bowl. This, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's one of those candle stands for like one of those like jarred Bath and Body Works candles. And then that piece had a little bit of a Fitz and Floyd holiday vibe, so I wanted to double check. It was not. Now this was a really pretty piece that I did hum and haw. The quality of the glass wasn't quite there to be like a mid-century piece. I do think it was a reproduction. I did mull it over quite a bit. Had the actual sort of amethyst-looking bowl been more optic, like had it had a texture to the glass, I may have picked it up. It was only $4.50, so someone will definitely grab it because it was still a pretty striking piece. Now these are some new display cabinets that they have out in this store. They've kind of done a little bit of an overhaul in this area. So this was a sweet little set. I just wanted to see if there was any markings or anything. There wasn't. This was kind of a funky little tidbit cake tray. Just looking to see who the maker is. This one is made by Stokes. Again, that's like a Canadian housewares brand. And I'm not sure if they're still in operation because the one nearest to me has actually closed down. Some home scents, home goods kind of pieces there. Now in here, I'm drawn to these little trinket dishes. This one is a Royal Albert. I really liked the pattern, so I do hang on to that for a little bit. I find a crack in it, unfortunately, and then look at this guy. I've never found this piece. I've never found a piece by Fostoria, to my knowledge, so that was kind of a cool find. I really liked the shape of this little Blue Mountain style vase. I'm giving it the once over, and I do find an epic crack. It looked like the whole base had been snapped off and re-glued. And here we have some of those bone china flower bouquets. This little girl is a little Joseph's original. She, her little sticker said England, I believe. I really wanted to grab her. I was kind of excited to find her, but I did notice that she had a little chip on her gold hula hoop, which was probably forgivable. I think they had her priced a little higher though. That was a very cool set. I really loved the look and the shape of it. It did have some cracks to it though. And then this is one of those sort of mid-90s Enesco figurines. They had another line of those. Those are the Ivory Princess, and then I think they had the Ebony Princess as well. And here, these are a first for me. I don't think I have ever found Francoma. So I know that Francoma prices can be all over the place. They do a lot of these are the trivets. like the collector's trivets. They also do collector's plates. Someone obviously had a big collection and donated a whole bunch of them. I did go through each and every one to see if there was any super winners, and there weren't. That was the closest one. I thought was cool just because it had that sort of American presidential seal on it. But they were priced at $3.50 each, all the trivets and the plates, and most of them don't resell for a ton. Sort of like the $10 to $15, maybe $20 range. This was one of those little, is it David Winter houses? Had quite a few little nicks and bits on it, so I had to leave it. I liked the little chokin hummingbird vase, but it was pretty worn. This is a very cool little trinket box. It has a bit of that Eastern European vibe to it. There's another piece of Francoma. This was a fun trivet. I think it was made by Johnson, made in England. It totally made me think of that movie A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. I absolutely loved that movie when I was younger, so. This is a sweet little piggy bank. I've been shying away from the piggy banks a bit because they haven't been turning over super well for me, but this guy was only 50 cents. And it's funny, it's a good thing I ended up doing a loop back around through the store because I actually forgot that on the shelf. And when I looped back around, I found it again, so. This is an adorable little print. The girl feeding her chicks. Definitely an older piece, older style frame and paper backing. Some more little trinket dishes. There was a lot of wear to the paint, to the design and the gold trim. And I don't know what it is that draws me to the trinket dishes like that. I find them so sweet. I was really happy when we came this day. It was a few days after one of their big half price sales, and I was worried that the shelves were going to be bare, but they'd obviously spent some time restocking over the weekend, and so the shelves were pretty nicely filled. That is one of those wooden shelf sitters. He has the little fishing rod, and he actually came with a line of a bunch of other fish. He's so cute. I almost wanted to keep it because I am a black cat mom, but the practical side of me sort of kicked in. This was an interesting piece. I was looking to see if it was made in Italy because it has that made in Italy vibe. They did a lot of those sort of circa the 1960s and 70s. Those plastic figurines, all sorts of different styles, but I couldn't really find anything on it. And then that lady with her ruffled skirt was beautiful. She did have a hand completely amputated, which was really unfortunate. And here is another first find for me. I know there's a ton of people that make this style of glass. There's Viking, there's Anchor Hawking, but I've never found those. They're one of those vintage things. People find them all the time, but I've never found that shape. So that was cool. They were $1 a piece. Not crazy resale on them. Probably about $10, but for $1 a piece and a first time find for me, I had to. That was a nice little Fire King, I think it was. Little milk glass bowl. I don't need any more bowls though, so. Now those I believe are a Fostoria pattern. But I'm not crazy on selling stemware, stuff like that, unless it's really worthy. I find stemware just a little intimidating. I've shipped it lots of times, but I always worry myself sick about it. So I honestly try to avoid it, if possible. This is another little trinkety section. Those were stone candlesticks. The one, as you can probably see there, had been completely broken and re-glued pretty badly. I did like that candle holder with the pressed flowers in between the glass. But then this little guy caught my eye. This was a really interesting one. I've never seen something like this. It was only 50 cents, and it is actually real flowers, like a gold or metal plated flower, Hawaiian flowers. So that was kind of interesting for 50 cents. How can you say no? It was a real shame seeing this devastated teapot there. I have sold a almost identical set for pretty decent money. The prices on those are down a little bit right now, but that handle is meant to have the wicker wrapped all the way around it, obviously, and it's been through the ringer. I love this little jug. At first I thought it was a hobbyist piece, but it was actually made in Japan. I definitely would have grabbed it. I did, of course, I found a little chip, which was too bad because I really did like the vibe of it. Kind of would have worked well with like a boho or kind of cottagecore look. I thought that was a really great deal for that little set. I looked them up for resale. I couldn't really find a ton on this pattern. It was by Ducal Ware. So I didn't grab those. Probably not a bad choice, but yeah, it was just unfortunate because the pattern was really, really pretty. That was a cool Johnson Brothers gravy boat. There was some room to make some money there. I can't remember the last time I sold a gravy boat. It's been probably 5 years. I don't do well with gravy boats. This is in the children's book section. And realizing now that all the kids' books are 50 cents, I don't know why I didn't grab more of these. There were some vintage Bobbsey twins there. And then these are some vintage Nancy Drews. I did love this one, though. This is one of those Dr. Seuss beginner reader books. The whales go by. Being an island girl, living, near the ocean, I think it just kind of spoke to me. You can see there a little bit of a Pacific Northwest inspiration with the totem pole. So that was cool, 50 cents. I did pick up that one, but I'm kicking myself about all the other ones. I know the books there are 50 cents, and it didn't compute when I was looking at all those Bobbsey twins, so. Then I came back to these other trinket shelves. The first thing I was looking at there was like a glass shade for a hurricane lamp or an oil lamp. It was kind of a nice one, and I think I might have one that needs a replacement, but that one I don't think would have fit. And then these were interesting. They really reminded me of like palm trees, just the sort of like pointed style, but they were priced at $3.50 each, and they weren't marked, so I honestly didn't really investigate too much further. There's lots of candle pieces here. And then this one did catch my eye. I loved the color on this. Definite mid-century vibes. I love the little applied handle there. It didn't have a price on it. I believe I ended up getting it for maybe like $1. I will double check. And that is right about where we wrap it up today. So hopefully you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the haul.